Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aya, and welcome back to the channel. Recently there's been some news regarding PlayStation and them saying that they're going to discontinue support for the physical releases of games in June of 2028, which quite frankly is still some time away, but it's close enough for people to really get riled up by it. I just wanted to give my 2 cents on the whole situation, so is what this whole video is about. Okay, I did not expect my laptop's microphone to be this good, but I'm just going to go with it anyways. So, one of the main points of discussion regarding this news is the fact that people are complaining that this announcement is pretty much cementing the fact that gamers do not own their games anymore, which is a valid point because if you look at it, and even if you read the terms of service by Sony and other game companies, you would know that you aren't actually purchasing these games, you're only buying the licenses to play them, which is kind of crazy. Now, to explain it, there are sites like GOG, which is goodoldgames.com, that basically sell game keys that allow you to have the exe files of the games you've purchased, which means you have full access and full control over the games. No one can take those files away from you because you have the real thing. But websites like Steam give you licenses to play the game, meaning if you do anything that breaches the terms of conditions or services or whatever, they can take away the game from you, meaning you don't actually own what you buy. They're just giving you the permission to play it. So that is the main point of discussion because physical media allows people to have their game and play it at any time they want, unlike digital games. And another point of discussion that has stemmed from this whole lack of ownership talk is the fact that sharing games with your friends has now become difficult because if physical media is taken away completely, the only way we'd be able to share our games with our friends is through our digital library. Now, PlayStation has an option to do this with game sharing. With Steam, the only way I can think of that is through family sharing. And of course, I'm not sure if other consoles like the Xbox consoles or Nintendo Switch 2 have means of sharing games, but I'm sure they do. Now, from now, I'm going to be giving my own thoughts and opinion on this news. So, the first part is how physical media kind of contributes to ownership of games. Now, I don't have a PS5, but I've spent a lot of time with my PS4. Of course, I've had it for almost or more than 8 years now, and I can say this whole point of physical games giving players more ownership of their games, I don't think it's true necessarily, because you can buy a disc of a game and put it in your console, but PlayStation isn't going to register the game as bought in your library. Because even if you have the disc, if you go on the PlayStation Store, you will still see the option to buy the game digitally, which means you don't fully own the game. You just own the disc, which of course discs only act as kind of like a license to play, essentially. And another thing with physical media is that they are extremely perishable. For example, discs. Discs are optical media. Any scratch, dirt, dust, or anything that just goes wrong with the disc, your game is completely gone, unplayable. Your money drained. So I don't think that whole point of discs allowing for full ownership of a game is true. Same thing with cartridges, of course. Now, I think one way this can be combated, not combated, I think a way to satisfy people is essentially just making discs act as a code for a digital version of a game. Like a disc can't come with the full game, but also pretty much purchase the online version of whatever game you bought for you. So now you have the physical version and you have the digital version which you can download anytime in case something goes wrong with your physical version. But I don't know if that's something that's already in play right now because, I haven't used a console in a long time. My PS4 is just somewhere. So that's what I think on physical games, allowing for full game ownership. I don't really think they do in that sense because once again, PlayStation or any other company, not just PlayStation, wouldn't consider you owning a game fully if you just have the disc. And speaking on game sharing, like I said before, multiple different online game storefronts have different means for you to be able to share your library with other people. For example, PlayStation, game sharing, Steam, family sharing. I'm sure Xbox and Nintendo have that too. So sharing your digital library with your friends and family is easy in that regard. So I do think physical media is the only way for you to be able to share your games around, of course. And for PC, there's the means of piracy, which once again is not legal. So that's something I don't think people really want to take in account because that's wrong. Of course, people's main concern regarding all this isn't the fact that they don't have physical access to their games anymore. It's the fact that this move is basically signifying that companies are becoming more and more anti consumer, basically meaning that companies are doing things more to favor themselves rather than the people buying their services or goods. Because think about it, physical media allows the consumer to have the full knowledge that they have control over their game. They control where their game is going, they know who they're giving it to, they know they have it, so they have full access to the game. Even the files on the disk they have access to, which is why you see people basically burning PS2 games into their computers because they have full control over the games. And with this move of removing physical media in 2028, it's basically PlayStation signifying that, oh, you don't own these games anymore. The publishers of these games have full control over the games now. So if they decide, oh, let's just take this game off digital storefronts, there's nothing you can do about that. If they just decide, oh, let's shut down the servers, there's nothing you can do against that. And that's quite frankly terrible. That is an anti consumer practice. That's something like Stop Killing Games initiative is trying to fight against. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in and listening to me talk about this news. Come back later for more videos when they are ready. And I would like to hear you guys' points of views in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this whole situation, and I will reply to it because I'm kind of passionate about this with my own views on this topic.